Hello there guys, how are you all doing today? We are going to be jumping into the second matchup of today. Sadly, the first one wasn't able to go through. It was a forfeit win. Obviously, not something that we really want to be seeing, but pretty much jumping straight into this one. It's Cryptova versus Spirit Academy. Any kind of initial thoughts from you, Charlie, before we hop right in?
Yeah, I mean, in general, we don't have much information on Spirit Academy this season. They haven't played a game. They were meant to have one early in the season. I think on the first.
Hello there guys, how are you all doing today?
But Cryptova, on the other hand, they are 1-0 up in this series so far. So, yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see if they can continue that run. Cryptova, obviously, had a pretty decent. They've had pretty decent fixtures already, so it's going to be exciting to see what they will be able to bring to this one.
Yeah, bit of an awkward altercation there from Berry. Does find Softic, but we do see instant trade from Art Frost. The HUD is playing tricks on you. It is, in fact, Cryptova on this T side. Hopefully, that will get sorted soon. But, nice little start here. Obviously, we've got a fair bit of util remaining on Spirit. They have just used that now. The flashbang has come over. Owner will be unblinded by the time the fight comes through. Oh, and there's 3 defenders here towards A, but they've been eliminated in seconds. Look at that. Zide with a double. Kinzo gets 1. And instantly, it's just Zontix remaining. A devastating way for Spirit to lose that one.
Zontix is going to be fading this smoke, but Kinzo is more than aware of it and does find the kill.
A great start there from Cryptova. Obviously, it was quite an interesting play there. We saw the aggression up long. Yeah, they found the kill, but the trade was pretty instant. And it seemed quite clear where, you know, Cryptova were going to be leaning, but it just came down to those individual duels. The fact that Zide found 2 there on the bomb site really did help things out. And Cryptova, they start things off very nicely here. Obviously, as you mentioned, you know, they've already got their win this season. Their early match was a success. So you've got to imagine, you know, they're just going to want to get a second one on the board. But obviously, when you're playing against a side like Spirit Academy, obviously, you mentioned, they're not a team that we have that much information on, but the org behind it is certainly one that I feel like a lot of teams would be very scared when going into. So you've got to imagine Spirit Academy going to be coming through with some firepower. And they do have that slight bonus of starting on the CT side.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they do perform. We've obviously casted a number of these players before, so it's going to be interesting to see them, how they can do sort of on this team. And obviously, yeah, like you mentioned, the org behind it, they're obviously going to have some high hopes for this roster. They're not going to have picked it up if they didn't believe in it. And I feel like just in a matter of months, potentially we can see this team really start to find its form and start to peak. But it's going to be interesting to see how they do early days.
This round's going to be a tough one.
Be tested.
Very tough there for Owner. Spamming away from back pillar, but didn't actually find a kill. Some damage was dealt, but not really enough. Yeah, but obviously, you know, we kind of spoke about the org. We spoke about the fact that, you know, Spirit's a big name. And I feel like you might just get a little bit of a benefit, potentially some boot camps going in. You're definitely going to have a little bit more of a support system around you, you could say. So I feel like they will have that slight edge over kind of opponents of a similar ability in the server. But potentially they do have a little bit more of a... Well, they've got an org behind them, you know, that really says wonders about this side. And look at Zontix, nice frag there. Don't think there's a kit to be retrieved, but so much damage dealt. And I think Max, as he finds this kill in seconds, might go down to the bomb. Well, in fact, should be fine.
Should just survive, yeah. We'll be able to come out of it with the AK, but obviously it was a force buy from Spirit, but still definitely a costly round there from Cryptova. Only having 1 player survive, so Spirit are going to be forced into this eco, but potentially how close it got, we might see Spirit a bit more encouraged to invest a little bit more than normal.
Yeah, you know, we see quite a lot of Deagles in play. We see a little bit of util as well. P250s, but you can see Art Frost saving that money. Definitely going to want to bring out the AWP fairly soon.
Seen a lot of UMPs in play recently. I have actually loved just to see them sort of have a nice place, a nice home in the SCL, really. It seems like a lot of these teams do like using them. Max, again, very aggressive, though. Does take down Softic.
I like that we still have these SMGs. Obviously, they know they're against an eco, but it's clear to see that, you know, they're confident with these kind of weaker weapons, because we saw the 2 Max, the UMP, we saw these type of weapons in their second round force, and they're still going to be bringing out here. I feel like some teams would just opt to bring out an AK, you know, Max, you know, Kinzo, both got money for it, but just opted for the Mac. I like it. It's nice to see, really.
Spirit, looks like they're not gonna really force the issue too much. Zontic's gonna obviously try to keep hold of this Deagle. He's got armor behind it as well, so no need to reinvest in that. It looks like everybody is gonna be able to keep their weapons into the next.
Still got these weapons as well. Something far surely is going to be coming Spirit's way. As we mentioned though in the last, we do see the AWP on Art Frost. Short control has been taken by Cryptova. And I like this 4B setup. Could work out perfectly for them. The AWP playing towards B as well. I feel like that's something, a real rarity, but you're looking at the minimap, Charlie. We know that this attack will come through A. Kinzo able to find one spot to the AWP as well, but so many bodies, so many defenders ready and waiting here. And Art Frost hits the hardest shot, in fact, but we still have Zai towards short. He's done a great job in the last couple rounds, but surely he can't take this one home. It's a 1 versus 3. The bomb under the control of his opponents, but the double swing comes through. It seemed as though there was somewhat of a chance, but Zai would have had to hit 2 very quick headshots there.
The orb wasn't able to be retrieved there from Spirit Academy.
That's unfortunate, especially because the money of Cryptova, they've got so much to work with.
Yeah, that's going to be really unfortunate there. Art Frost is going to be forced onto the AK. Has been dropped over the more superior rifle, so you can see his team sort of apologising there a little bit for not being able to give him the orb, but still, potentially this could be that one-up that Cryptova do need just to sort of break any sort of streak that Spirit were looking to get.
Obviously, we do have Berry on the AWP here. I feel like there's a lot of AWPers we see in the SCL that you can kind of just see have that clear dominance over their opponents. And I feel like it's weird. I feel like there's some AWPers that won't kind of always be at the top of the server, always be dominating, but it's the kills that they do get, the impact that they really have kind of goes unnoticed. I feel like time and time again, you'll see a player maybe, you know, middle of the leaderboard, maybe even lower, but the kills that they are able to acquire time and time again, just getting those openers, kind of just single-handedly allowing you to take a bomb site. And look at that there, that monster defense. They just found 2 great kills, bringing it back to a level playing field, and now Spirit Academy, they can still take this one. It seems as though Cryptova potentially gave up their advantage. Obviously, PR has gone and got it back, but Spirit, there's still a chance in this one for them.
Yeah, Cryptova, they were lining up to head towards B, but the fact that Max fell early on, you saw the other two sort of caught out a little bit. Berry was able to back off with the AWP. He got himself out of any sort of damage, sort of danger, but PR's really putting on the numbers here.
It's off. They're just going to have to save here. Obviously, the money for the rest of his team certainly not great, so surely should just be a half bite. But Cryptova, they've had a great start here on the T side. Definitely favoured in the next, so you've got to assume they're going to be finding themselves 5 rounds. And then on a map like Overpass, you know, they find a couple more and they're very happy with the result of it. Usually you're expecting a 9-6 half. We sometimes see 10-5s and that can be kind of a customary, but they could find 6-7, could even take the half as well, Charlie. And especially when, you know, you're going into your second game of the season, you really want to kick things off nicely in the Challenger division. And if you start things off with a 2-0 start, we kind of talk about how you're expecting, you know, a team to get themselves to playoffs. They're going to need to go about 5-3. And you find 2 wins already, you just need a 50% win rate. And for a side like Cryptova, I feel like that's not too tough of a task. So if they're able to take this one, they should be looking good for the rest of the season. But obviously, it is a long, drawn-out season. There are many top teams that they will be facing against. So it's not to say that they've got any guarantee, because I feel like time and time again, we see the kind of the teams that are getting to playoffs on that last day. It seems though it's a real guessing game. You know, you've got those top 5, but anything else is a bit of a gamble.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously going to be really exciting to see sort of Cryptova play in general. It's obviously their first season in the SCL. We obviously know how good a team they are. So what they can bring is going to be definitely a lot of question marks in terms of, can they instantly first season challenge for the title? Because just sort of what we know about the team, it does feel like that will be their aspirations. And the way they're looking already in this season certainly shows that they mean business. So yeah, like you said, I think it's going to be really interesting. But obviously Spirit Academy, they're going to have similar goals as well.
Yeah, potentially giving off that kind of VP Prodigy vibe. I feel like that's certainly what they did. They really stunned a lot of the teams in the SCL in that top division. I believe it was the Masters division that they...
first season, yeah.
It was really, really nice for them. obviously they've kind of slowed down a little, but they're always a team that are in contention. They're always one in which you can't ever count out. And I feel like that's the beauty of the Challenger division. Potentially lower down, you will have those teams that are clearly dominant and potentially are in the lower leagues because they're new to the SCL, or maybe they've had a roster change here or there. But I feel like it's quite nice in the Challenger division, the fact that a lot of these games aren't so guaranteed.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, certainly. I know a lot of the time before we go into sort of any sort of matchup, we like to have our little predictions on who we favour, and the amount of times that I think we've both sort of favoured one team and then complete different outcome. It's really tough to predict now, especially this season. I feel like a lot of the time we're having sort of different opinions in terms of who we think can take it because it's just so competitive, and that is what we love about the SCL. But in this one, Spirit Academy did gamble towards B. Cryptova, as you see on the radar, and it's 5 versus 5 retake. Did end up going towards A. So Spirit probably just going to try to keep hold of these weapons. Like that Totfik does have the AK in his hands. No real need to throw that away. Obviously, the rest of the guys, no need to give away any of sort of the kill reward to Cryptova. But everyone will be surviving, so Cryptova can really start to build up their finances. But already, this has been a good-looking start from this T side. Just 5 to 1 up. You're on, obviously, a CT side favored map, and you got 5 rounds very early on. This could be quite a dominant T side from Cryptova.
Yeah, they've started things off very nicely. Obviously, I kind of mentioned that we're expecting 5 from them, but you've got to imagine as well, when are we going to see Spirit come alive here? They're on the dominant side. They really need to change their tune, or potentially things could run away.
I think this is going to be the perfect round for it. Obviously, you got Art Frost on the AWP once again. Sadly, wasn't able to be retrieved. Obviously, had a pretty heroic round, hit some great shots. So it's going to be really exciting to see what he can bring to this team. And I think he's somebody that, for Spirit Academy, they're going to really need on this AWP as much as possible, especially if they're looking to win this one. That's a great flick there from Art Frost. Sadly, only gets the leg. PR was elevated on that slide, but Spirit Academy, this is the round that they need to turn things around because you don't really want to allow Cryptova to find 6 already. This is a map that you sort of look at and think it's a 9-6 scoreline in favour of the CT side. Cryptova can find 6 this early on in the half. There's no reason why they can't find even more, which could really make things difficult for Spirit Academy as they switch sides. But PR is going to be keeping hold of this AK despite being on the low HP. Seems like Barry wants to just keep the AWP in his hands, which certainly can't blame him.
Also, it's not just 6, it probably will be 7 as well, as the only player with any money was that save AK from the last Sotfic. Didn't really can't really drop. Maybe you could get a hero AWP, but speaker Sotfic really hasn't done too well in that round. Went for an aggressive play, and you understand it, you justify it. You know what, I'm going to be the one to get man advantage back, but it didn't work out too well. Owner will bring it to a level playing field, and PR very low as well. That is dicey, but PR will be the one to go down. Obviously, if it were anyone to fall, at least let it be PR. 9 HP, but now Berry, in a world of hurt, sends out the flashbang, picks up the AWP, and wins the fight as well. 1 versus 2 now. Going to be jumping out, gets a second chance as well. We'll tap the bomb, but there's a player towards short. Berry needs to be aware of this. Surely he's just going to get swung on the bomb plant. He's got a chance.
The step should have been heard now. I think Barry's going to be away. I mean,
no time.
Now, there's no time. He gets tagged through the box.
Is that after time?
Found after time.
That is
it is after time, but obviously you can see it hasn't really impacted him that much. He's been dropped over the AWP, I believe, in the last round, so money wasn't really that big an issue, especially when you consider Cryptova won the previous round with all 5 surviving, but his money's completely gone now.
You've got to imagine, Spirit Academy, this is their chance, this is their opportunity. Look at the economy of Cryptova. They've got hardly anything in the bank. All they need to do, Spirit Academy, they win this round, they find 4. They put themselves at touching distance from their opponents, and then they can start the spiral. They can take the lead. Still, this game doesn't have anyone's name on it. Still ready for the taking for both of these teams, but this round will define it. And what a shot from Berry. Got that information off the jiggle, and then just simple stuff. Zontix certainly going to be questioning that aggressive play, especially as there was no teammate near him. No flashbang to help. Just took that early aggression himself. And sometimes you can catch off your opponents like that, but there was 4 players towards A. You're not getting out of that one alive.
We've seen Zontix do that before, and he got punished for it from a player towards playground, clearing him, spotting him out back turned. I feel like potentially Zontix sort of maybe tried to think, I've been caught out of doing that. Maybe they won't think I'll do it again, but Sadly, it didn't work out for him. He's been punished for it both times without finding a single kill. So potentially that might be it for Zontic's solo aggression towards mid.
I like this gamble though. Look at the rotations. We've got 2 players in toilets. One just playing passively towards ABC.
Oh, he's jump spotting.
Yeah, it should be perfect.
We see a play towards site and owner. Oh, but it doesn't even matter. It's just that solo jump spotting player towards site. The tallest players get shot down so easily. Sorry, Red. He does clear the angle still. Sometimes you can see these players getting complacent. Gets molled off by his teammate. Doesn't really do too much damage. It's a 1 versus 5 now for Soptic.
Kinzo, simple stuff. All 5 alive there for Cryptova. They shut down any chances for Spirit Academy coming back into this one. They've already found 6. And any more is just a bonus. It's just extra. Spirit are going to need to win the next 7 rounds just to have a kind of a casual half on CT overpass.
And especially, I mean, when you consider the buy that they're going to have in this one, that seems near impossible. I mean, we have seen some rounds that we sort of considered impossible in the SCL before. That somehow just the individuals can really come alive. But the way Crypto are playing, it doesn't look like it's going to happen in this round at least. But Spirit Academy, we've seen glimpses. But that's all it's been so far, just glimpses. We need something more. We need that sort of consistency that we know that these individuals can provide, but it does feel like they are just still searching for that. And sometimes that can be the issue in these best of ones. If you start on that favored side and have a really slow start, it can just make it very tough for you to get back into the game, because by the time you're warmed up, you're on the weaker side. You're potentially at a deficit, and it can be really challenging to claw your way back into the game. But hopefully Spirit Academy, they can sort of bring the fire sooner rather than later.
Well, I like their aggressive plays. They seem to be trying to take some control. We saw it from, I believe it was Zontex in the last, and then we saw some aggression Monster. It seems as though Spirit Academy, they like taking the fight to their opponents, but potentially they need to be doing it a little bit more structured and kind of as a unit, or we need to see them maybe just fall back a little bit. Instead of pushing all the way into playground, just get yourself towards deep mid. But obviously, Art Frost went for that kind of style in that round and got punished. Obviously, it was just with that Deagle, so not the biggest of issues, just a half buy here. But still, I think Spirit Academy, if they do want to take that deep aggression towards Monster, send some util, send some flashes, maybe even just an extra man, and then you can take that control kind of safely and comfortably, because it seems as though a lot of this individual control that they're trying to take is just a bit too risky, especially with the kind of the passive playstyle that Cryptova have been opting for. They kind of just play things quite slow, methodical. They just play a bit of a default, and it's really catching them out. But something that could catch them out in this one is the boost for Donk there. We'll take down Zayed. That is a weapon that can be retrieved. But it's going to be tough, as we do have Kinzo, in fact, towards Kinzo in connector.
Crypto over that they're going to be aware that 2 players were towards short water, and yet they're still leaning towards B. The flash is going to come over. The flash is good. Don't actually find them both, in fact.
That is ridiculous.
It's now burying the 1 versus 3. Finds the first. Both these players are unarmored. This is still doable. The player towards barrels, look at them, Fred. They're just tucked.
I love it.
If this doesn't get cleared, it's going to be an easy kill for Softfig.
It's the type of player I always love to go for. Maybe there with a kit and a smoke. Oh, but Softfig will find him. We spoke about how Spirit of Academy, they've been struggling to find rounds, but that is a very devastating way for them to get one. Cryptova, they're going to be kicking themselves.
I said it was a near impossible round as well. The fact that they couldn't really invest, and yet Spirit Academy, they pulled it off.
Yeah, look at the economy now for Cryptova. It's been drained. All it took, they decided to fight Donk, and rightly so. Just take out the man, but they went one-on-one. They could have just swung together, and that's a simple frag for them to get. Maybe without a casualty, but at least a trade should have come through. But a great way for Spirit Academy to find a round. Potentially do just make some more gimmick plays. Go for those risky boosts, because if they work out, that's a great kill. And if you can back away or at least take the fight and find another, definitely going to be happy with that. I like the aggression here, though. Berry trying to take some control. We'll send the flash in towards toilets. Look at the confidence. Donk going for all of these peaks. Ready. Oh, and there it is. Spirit Academy. They find another. They cannot give up another kill. But Charlie, look at the util of Cryptova. They've got 1 flash and a Molotov remaining. It's a 2 versus 5.
There's a chance that they don't find anything. They might have to try to save these weapons. Kinzo does get found solo towards this A side. Berry's now finally rejoined. That's a great spam.
That is so nice. Simple shot there from Art Frost.
One thing I am loving to see from Spirit Academies is their setups that we're seeing in the previous round, that eco that they won, just sort of that boost towards short is very simple play, but really nice stuff. In a round like that, you've obviously short has been taken. They spammed the hole in the door as well, just left Art Frost to hold that sort of gap while his teammate finds the kill towards Monster, and just instantly, you know what that's going to do. It's going to sort of entice that player towards Con to have a little look through that hole, see if they can catch someone off falling back. Really nice stuff from Cryptover. And finally, we see Spirit Academy. We see Cryptover now on this eco.
You know what I think, Charlie? I think maybe the in-game leader, coach as well, might have just said, you know what, guys, we're going for some quite risky plays, potentially kind of top-tier plays. Let's just go back to basic Counter-Strike. Let's just play things simple. We don't need to overcomplicate things. Just do the basic. And look what it's done for them. Obviously, the pistol, you know, the success they had on the half-pipe, there was that kind of element of luck from it. The fact that, you know, can Donk replicate that? Probably not. But still, I feel like you've got to take those rounds. And if we see them take this one, they're going to be in a great position. Only one round away from their opponents. And seeing as kind of they were staring down the barrel of a 6-2 with 7 rounds remaining, it's not too bad.
When it does find Kinzo, it doesn't allow him to do any damage with that AWP. So 1 round away now from leveling this game up. Cryptover obviously still have multiple chances to find 7, maybe even more than that. No AWP out for Berry. Forced onto the rifle. Art Frost is really impressed when he's been on this AWP. Hit some great shots, but also just hit the basics.
And I feel like
that's all you need is an AWPer.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like you see those crazy clips, but realistically, if you just do the basic work, it never really needs to get to that.
I mean, 90% of the time, you've got to think most of the shots are going to be hit and need to be pretty basic anyway. Good trade in there from Cryptover. Important that they didn't let any sort of funny business get a bit out of control, but Context again, you see him getting very aggressive. He loves getting aggressive towards mid.
Yeah, I like that play. He found a kill. Potentially could have backed away, but was searching for more. But the problem is that where was the second player? Where was the flash after he found the kill? We could have just seen him back away through the smoke and, you know, just disappeared. But I feel like it seems as though Zontix, I like the idea of going for that solo aggression, but look what it's done. The A bomb site completely open. Seems as though we're still going to be seeing this B hit from Cryptover, and it will be Donk to defend now. 1 on 3. Obviously, just a 1v2 on the bomb site. Berry will be coming from the back lines, but the bomb can go down. I feel like Donk going to struggle here.
Especially as the bomb's going to be planted for heaven.
Yeah, the smoke as well. I think he wanted to have a little bit of a look, but once that smoke came through, just opt against it. Another one coming his way as well. But Cryptover, they do find a round. They do find 7. So, as I mentioned, anything more than 6 is a little bit of a bonus. So, they're going to be happy with that. But I think they do potentially want to put a muzzle on the Spirit Academy side, especially because they were looking so dominant. Not to say they're not still in the lead, that they're not kind of in the driver's seat, but I feel like they need to try and keep Spirit Academy at bay. You can't let these players get their confidence.
Nice round there from Berry, though. Finding 4 kills. Obviously forced onto the AK, but showing that he can still step up regardless of the weapon he's wielding. I feel like that's another nice thing about having quite a versatile AWP, a bit of a hybrid. The fact that you're not going to always need to rely on them having the AWP, because if you're having a tough game where the finances aren't always there, sometimes they are just going to be forced into these AKs, but Berry clearly stepping up. Ginzo in this one finding the opening. Sotfik does get dropped, maybe getting a little bit too inquisitive, maybe didn't realise they could be in front of all that util.
It's going to be a tough one here. Obviously Spirit Academy, they've still got a fair bit of util, but the 2 smokes and just the 1 molly, it's going to be tough to work with, but the fact Zontix can get to that, little bit of a bargain, 2 for the price of 1, but they have just given up that pick. Their owner will go down, but Art Frost goes hunting towards A and will find a kill of his own. So once again, back to a level playing field. Obviously the utility definitely favouring Cryptover, as they do have that extra smoke and a molly, but if Don can find this kill, oh, the steps have been made. Doesn't bother Max, simple frag for him. Ooh, tempting fate there. Really pushing his luck, but hungry for the frag. And I feel like Max is a player that we kind of haven't really spoken about that much in this game, because it seems as though just doing the simple stuff. That push-out monster, yeah, it's a risk. He's being heard, he's being held. He doesn't have that information, but just perfect crosshair placement finds the frag. Similarly with the AWP, he got that info, able to kind of back away behind pillar instead of just waiting around. I'll take the fight to you. Cryptova, though, they have won the half, and they're destined to find 9 as well. A Spirit, they're just on this half bye. We've seen them win 1 already, though, this game, so you can't count them out. But we're going to need to see an electric performance from an individual. Obviously, last time it was Donk.
Cryptova, this has got to be an eco that they don't let slip away here, because this could really be a chance for them to extend their lead massively. The fact that they can still find 10 rounds, it's going to be a bit of a bitter pill to swallow for Spirit Academy, especially as they started to come into their own.
Cryptova, they've been leaning towards B quite a lot of the time, but obviously with this long aggression, without being met with any contact, I feel like we're going to see Cryptova slowly make their way towards A, but...
Look at their rotates, though.
They're very
so
fast.
Quick. 4 players up towards this A-bomb site already with Donk in transition.
Yeah, the problem
doesn't
is
seem
PR.
to matter though. PR, yeah, he's just going huge. Seems to know there's a player towards truck, but didn't really have the health to fight it. Only 1 player dropping for now. Oh no, would love to do a bit of extra damage, but don't know how likely that's gonna be anymore.
Kinzo gonna peek, spots the head. 2 headshots with an AK. Those steps are very strong then. But still, as I mentioned, Cryptova, they have found 9. PR just wasting the funds there. Definitely hasn't learned about savings, but it's alright. Get those Julies out. Last round of the half. Just do what you like.
Spend all the money you want. Sadly, overpasses in a map like Dust 2, where you can see the auto snipers out on the last round.
You could have brought it out, maybe.
Sadly, we're going to see less of those now on Dust, aren't we? With the change towards T-Spawn. One of my favourite parts, just when you're so strapped for cash, you just bring out all the money you could possibly need.
Yeah, that B player's not crossing.
And if they do, they'll be crossing with about 1 HP. I used to love the idea, though, of sort of on those last rounds, if you've got an abundance of money, just have like 2 or 3 players with autos just spamming, and the others just rush towards B. Just get that info.
There's nothing you can do, though.
I mean, I still remember this game where sort of the casters were hyping up these 5 autos on the cross, and it was so exciting, and not a single bullet connected. And it was a bit disappointing, but certainly not what we're seeing in this round for Spirit. I mean, very quick switch there between the players.
Yeah, Owner now on the AWP. Ooh.
Ooh.
Maybe Donk wants to take a little bit of damage, get that back in his hands.
Yeah, Donk getting tested once again. Nice find there from Max. That was the solo B play. This can really change up how this round goes.
Smoke for heaven. Oh, even more damage onto Donk, but he creeps his way on out. Surely has spotted the player on the bomb site. He hasn't been taken down yet, but Kinzo will convert. 2 on 2 now. Tap of the bomb or waiting for the push through the smoke. I feel like Cryptova, they don't really want to be kind of taking any gambles anytime soon, especially because of how many times we've seen them push through the smoke. But Kinzo, a little bit too hesitant on that plant. It kind of kept him on the bomb site. Instant smoke there. Berry's very close. Has shot the AWP though. The flashbang will come through and Artfrost will progress. The flash, in fact, blinding him. Timing on this very important, but there we have it. Artfrost playing it quite simple there. Spirit Academy, they do find their 6th, but it's been the Cryptova half. They've dominated this one. They're going to be switching to that favoured side, and if we see Cryptova win the pistol, you've got to imagine they could run away with this one.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly could. If their CT side's anything like their T side is, I think certainly a bit of a scary sight could be ahead for Spirit Academy, but like I mentioned, we saw them come into their own a bit near the latter end of that half, so hopefully it's something that they can continue to perform through.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, yes, Spirit Academy haven't had the strongest of halves, but you've got to imagine they were, 5-1 down, 6-2. It's not all too bad. They won, 4 out of the last 7 rounds. It's okay. I feel like they can bring themselves back, but the pistol round, definitely required.
Yeah, I mean, it's at least, if you're not going to win the pistol, you sort of at least need to win that second round force buy, because if you don't, Fred, you have to consider if Spirit lose it and just opt for an eco, Cryptova could be on 11 rounds. Could be an 11-6 scoreline, as well as Cryptova being on that favored side now. So it's certainly not going to be too convincing, but Spirit Academy do need to step up now.
There's no time like the present. Obviously, we mentioned, you know, this is their first game. I'm pretty sure. We'll just go check.
Yeah, this is Spirit Academy's first game of the season. Obviously, they had one that was meant to be a few days ago, but obviously a bit of a rescheduling last minute. Did change things up.
I think they had another event at the time, so maybe it was WePlay. I'm not too sure. Either way, I feel like as well that's something I do like about a lot of the teams in the Challenger division is the fact that, you know, they're quite understanding, and I feel like, say you're playing, you know, something like, I don't know, you could compare it maybe to ESEA Open. You know, your team's late, you're going to be taking that forfeit win every day, but I feel like there's some level of respect here amongst the teams, amongst the players, which is really nice to see. Over. A lot of util has been bought. I do like the idea about that. Max and Kinzo, 3 flashes, a nade and a smoke. Wonder what they can do with it.
Spirit Academy very fast towards A. They do find Berry. In fact, that could really sort of overwhelm these side players. And this is a great looking pistol. This is what we needed to see from Spirit Academy.
Yeah, most definitely.
All the kills going their way. Although Cryptova do still have the kit in play. 5 kills to find.
Do you think it's even worth going for it? Just keep the kit in the next.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought.
Especially if they go for a
The issue is with
force.
these pistol rounds, though, is that these rounds are doable, although they are still very unlikely, just because I feel like the nature of these pistol rounds, how they can sort of really just flip the script very quickly. But they have found themselves a kill and are just backing off now, so this kit should be able to be kept alive.
I like this from Max. Sent the flashbang out to heaven, dropped in, and then took a fight towards ABC. Definitely caught his opponent off guard, but not hitting that instant headshot, so did just have to back away. And Max, without that armor, gets taken down to the bomb. Unfortunate stuff there.
PR does stay alive, though, with that light armor, but I don't know if that's enough to justify Cryptova going for a force.
Brings out the
FAMAS
FAMAS.
is bought out, so yeah, they clearly think it is. Discussed, obviously quite a late buy, but still they have opted for a Viking, so still questioning what's going to be invested. Bought himself a Deagle and armor, so still not too bad a buy from Cryptova, but individuals certainly do need to step up.
I'm quite interested. We could have seen PR invest in head armor and drop that scout to Berry, and then we could have seen Max drop over that FAMAS. So it means that they would have had PR with head armor and a FAMAS. But
I don't know if it's worth it that much. I think at sort of these sort of half buys, these force buys sort of, you just kind of need to gamble that you're not going to be hitting head sometimes. And
yeah,
just,
obviously there's only 2 Max as well.
Take the risk.
Not the biggest of problems. Obviously fighting off against Zontix and Ona. Yeah, it's not going to be a nice gunfight, but look at the setup.
Flying around the corners.
We've got 4 players towards A, Charlie. This is such an interesting setup. 2 posted up towards long, and then obviously we've got Zayed and Berry.
I wonder if any of these steps were heard. They certainly were. I mean, look at the rotations. PR's rotating in. They've heard these steps.
It's going to be an absolute bloodbath, but there we have it. Ona will take down Max, eliminates Kinzo as well, and now the scout comes through. Does get the frag on 1, and look at this. Look at the kill feed. It's a 3-on-2 now. PR going to be emerging here. Simple frag, and the remaining players donk. Going to be progressing through toilets. Might be able to spot this player as they progress their way on through the smoke. This should be a fairly easy round. Obviously, it's still man disadvantage, but the HP of these 2 individuals certainly not perfect. 1 body shot is enough to take down Berry.
Yeah, job done now from Berry. He's got the tag. There's no need to repeat. The time's not on Spirit's side, so just sort of applying this pressure is going to make things so hard, but they are swinging. They are making this sort of somewhat doable now. Berry switched to the Mac, and he just swings out, catches off Donk, but yeah, like you said, got very dicey. There was no need to swing. Bomb was down. Time wasn't on his side, but Cryptova do win that force by.
I don't know, maybe there was a chance that they didn't 100% know the tag came through?
I mean, surely. I mean, it's quite a clear-cut tag.
Yeah.
Maybe sort of in between two minds. Maybe they wanted to double peek it and sort of communication wasn't perfect.
Either way, though, the round has been won. They do find double digits, and obviously that AK has been saved. Berry will be wielding it. I like the amount of SMGs, though. It's a similar kind of story. Zayed brought out the UMP. Kinzo and Max had the Mac 10s. Obviously, got the MP9s in this one. I've got a question for you, Charlie. MP9 Mac 10. Obviously, there's a $200 kind of dollar difference, but is there one that you prefer?
I really hate the Mac 10, so
it's got to be the MP9. Not your weapon of choice.
No, I feel like it is just sort of a full auto Glock.
I can see that.
Yeah, maybe it's just in my hand it doesn't work, but I've seen people. I mean, people seem to absolutely delete me with it, but yeah, it's got to be the MP9 for me. I think it's just an all-round better weapon.
See, I feel like although they're both SMGs, although they're kind of both classes, very similar weapons, I treat the MP9 as though it's kind of like, I don't know how many people might treat the MP7 or the UMP. Like, you can still use it at range, you kind of burst with it. Yes, it has that mobility, but I feel like the Mac 10 to me, it's just a run and gun. It's kind of really the weapon of choice if you're just going for a rush. But I guess each to their own. But Cryptova, they did a good job there. Obviously, things got a bit dicey as it was brought to a 3v3, but still able to find the round. AK and PR's hand.
Spirit. I mean, you've got to assume a couple of kills are going to at least go the way of the force buying team. So, all things considered, especially with the amount of SMGs invested on Cryptova, it's certainly nothing to complain about. But what this has done now is Spirit, obviously, they're going to be forced into this eco. 12 rounds can be found from Cryptova, and even with this eco, the buy in the next thread isn't going to be great. It's 2.4k loss bonus, so potentially on the last few rounds of this game, we could be seeing Spirit have limitations. It's going to be AK's limited util. Obviously, going to be no auto for art for us unless we see some sort of miracle 4K with the Glock or somehow a knife kill or something. But other than that, we're certainly going to see AKs with limited util.
Yeah, for sure.
If they can't win that one, 14 could be on the board for Cryptova, and that maybe at that point it's too far gone for Spirit. So damage would be nice in this round for Spirit Academy, but it'd be interesting if Cryptova keep everyone alive. Do you think they'll keep these sort of weaker weapons? Do you think they'll keep the UMP, the MP9, the Galil, or will it be the situation that they think maybe we just have to upgrade?
It's an interesting one, because it depends on the playstyle you want to opt for. Yes, we've got these semi-weaker weapons, but we could send the SMGs towards short water. You can just let them take that control, and that's where they kind of thrive. You know, you can really see those UMPs, those MP9s work quite well, but look at Sotfik. In the backlines, he's kind of just been given free range here. It's a 2-on-2. Maxo will rotate up. Kinzo has been tagged, but we'll just relocate. This should be a simple round for Cryptova, but either way, Spirit Academy, they've done a lot of damage in this one.
Yeah, that did actually get really dicey. Looked like Sotfik could have almost found 3. But it did get turned on with the USP, but very damaging round there for Cryptova, losing 3 players. They do get to upgrade one of the MP9s into an AK, but still going to keep their money humble. Sadly, despite Spirit Academy finding all those kills, no bomb plant was able to come through, so not that bonus $800.
You've got to imagine though, Spirit Academy, they don't find this round. Is it over? 14-7? Surely too far
it'll
gone.
certainly have some question marks behind it, won't it? It's certainly making things so much harder, but PR is just evaded in the smoke, but opts to swing. I'm wondering if he's just going to stay in there as long as possible. We are all leveled up here. Sotfik going to be spearheading this attack. Timing's perfect, in fact, but no kill converted. Flashbangs are great from the ABC player. Kinzo finds one, keeps it as a 3-on-3. Berry's very quick to rotate in here. Finds one player, catches himself a player on the bomb site.
Berry's had so much impact in this round, and look, the smoke's going to fade. The Heaven, he needs to be aware of Heaven. He's not giving it a second look, and Kinzo can just swing on out. Zontix out in the open, completely unaware, and Cryptova, they find 13.
scary times ahead now for Spirit Academy. They can at least invest in a decent amount in this one. We've seen them win an eco already, or a bit more of a half buy, I suppose. It is a bit of a deco here. You can see Artfrost obviously buying absolutely nothing. Wants to get that AWP out all costs. Nice early util there, Donk. One of the few players to buy armor. One of the only players to buy head armor. Gets brought down to 36 HP without even spotting a player.
Oh, that is such a blunder. Although it's just a deagle, although it's just a half bite. Yeah, that killed dead to rights.
I mean, you can never count out these force buys, and a kill like that going the way of the pistols first can really change up how the just the tempo of this round can go. So definitely unfortunate stuff. PR lucky to be alive.
I wonder what Spirit Academy do here. Obviously, they know PR's low, but I don't think that really matters. Even if they find that frag, a trade's going to be coming through. But which bomb site do they want to lean towards? Obviously, the B bomb site, you can kind of explode as a unit a little bit easier, and the information's a bit harder to gain. But similarly, they are going to be leaning towards A, but in doing so, have just gifted Zaya to kill. And once again, no trade come through. It seems as though Spirit Academy, they're just looking for some individual picks, and you understand it. You're on those weaker weapons. Sometimes when the hand cannon just shoots off and you take an opponent down, that's when you see that kind of entrance to the bomb site. But potentially we needed to see a little bit more team play here. They're just going to be going down towards Con, and I feel like they're just going to be gifting Berry some kills here. Once again, another fight without a trade. And PR, even on 5 HP, the confidence to swing out there and get a double. Cryptova, they find 14, 2 rounds away from closing this out. And it could be all over now, Charlie.
Yeah, Artfrost, it feels like what we've seen from him with the AWP has been really impressive, but just the nature of how this game's gone so far, it really hasn't allowed Artfrost to have the AWP out nearly as much as I'm sure he would have liked. I feel like that's limited some of the impact he's had on certain rounds, but I feel like Spirit maybe needed a company for his AWP in a little bit more. Oh, could get punished without finding anything in this one. Berry so aware, sees the AWP barrel, takes down Artfrost. Opening kill once again going the way of Cryptova. No escape though for Berry.
It seemed as though that was the type of play we saw from Zontix quite a lot on that CT side. Getting aggressive, but it's a real one and done, especially when you're isolated there.
Nice couple of kills though from Owner now. He's on 3 in this one. PR. He is aware of the party player, so he does find that one. So that's going to be the player catching off the lurk. You can actually deny any sort of entry into the bomb site, but it's going to be so tough for him to solo hold this. Sotfik does take him down, takes significant damage for it.
Potentially the most important round of the game here for Spirit Academy. Without it, potentially it would be all over. They'd be on such weak economy. Obviously, it's not one yet, and that's something they need to keep in mind. They can't just play too overconfident.
Oh.
Owner, luckily just keeping his teammate alive there.
Yeah, Playboy's truck as well, very low. If that kill came through bank early, I think he would have swung with the truck, find that one, and found himself in a 1v1. So, lucky that Owner took that fight.
And something to mention, it seemed as though Owner was just going to send it up long and potentially had that slight inclination. You know what, let me check the bomb site one last time. Let me just make sure no one's there. What are util being dropped over there? I wonder what Spirit Academy have in mind.
Great nade there. Chipping both players down to around half HP.
Sotfik and Donk really not going to be too happy about that. And we still got plenty of utility. Damaging util, in fact, on the Cryptova side. Still a nade on Zayed. Obviously the 2 mollies, so you've got to imagine they're going to have some impact. And especially when you've got an MP9 and 3 M4s in play. Just initial chip damage will make those next gunfights so much easier. Ooh, that drop's been heard. So is the second one. They're just going to have to send it out onto the bomb site now. It's going to be aggressive play from short. The flashes are good, but PR were able to find one. Kinzo creeps his way out of ABC. Struggles to find the first, but will eventually take him down. Max finds Zontix as well. And it's Owner and Artfrost. 2 versus 3 here. Realistically, they need to find a kill and they need to find one fast. Rotations have come through though.
flash is good. Kinzo slowly creeps up, gets himself a dink, and just evades away.
Died as a nade, Charlie. We will go down. We'll be able to use that nade, but it's just Art for us remaining. So low HP. Gets eliminated by Berry there. That was his one real chance. If he hit that instant headshot on Berry, not an easy one, of course, but it would have put him in a 1v1 on a 23 HP Kinzo. There was a chance, but Cryptova, once again, they shut down Spirit Academy. It seems as though Spirit, they've got their chances. They find a round and instantly Cryptova punish.
Yeah, what could be the last round of this game, Spirit Academy? Not the perfect buy, but certainly good enough to win a round like this. Get a little one's on the tick. Artfrost has his AWP with limitations in the util department, but certainly enough to work with, and they have to make it work now. Cryptova will win their second game of the season.
Yeah, util's definitely not too bad, but look at this aggression. They have to go towards A here. Max decided to shift. Potentially they're just going to be going for a little bit of a leave one flanking going fast, and then they're not going to be ready for Max. Might just
like
overlook
this.
him. Yeah, it's a good play, but obviously...
Timing could actually evade them, though. The fact that they are pushing up long.
We are going to be having Max go down connector, though. You say
There's a
timing...
player here. Will Max choose to clear it, though? I think he's just going to hold. Remain just sort of tucked in this angle. And look at the gamble we see from Cryptova, though.
Yeah, Berry posted up towards long there, found that frag. Very nice stuff. And now, look, we've got a player in toilets and one outside divider. And there's no escape. They're going to have to go the long way around because we do have Max still towards Con. Berry finds another. Zaya destined to find this frag in toilets, but in fact he doesn't.
I think Donk had no head armor there. Berry just switches to the USB and one-taps him. That's really unfortunate stuff. It's all falling apart now, Fred.
Yeah, it's
Zon
over.
takes all that remains, 30 seconds, 22 HP on the clock. Berry is able to be killed in one shot, but Zontic doesn't seem confident picking up the AWP.
Oh!
Berry takes him down. I say one shot. He hits the shot, but still, Berry comes out on top of that fight.
Yeah, that is absolutely ridiculous. That's how we end things today. Cryptova, they're going to be very happy with that result. Obviously, it seemed as though we had kind of at the midriff of Cryptova's team side, it seemed as though we're a little bit level. You know, we had a, 6-4 scoreline. I think it might have even gone 6-5, but once they switched to that CT side, it was something we mentioned. They were going to dominate, and they did just that. You got to imagine Spirit Academy not going to be too happy with their performance, but potentially it just came from that a little bit of a slow start on their CT side. I feel like, let's say we saw them kind of get some early rounds, maybe go 5-0 up, give some players some confidence and also some time to warm into the game. We could be looking at a very different scoreline, but that's the problem with these best of ones. It's kind of the downside, but also the upside. I feel like even when you're an unfavored team, you can still take these games just because you get an early start. You know, there's no second map, there's no kind of safety net. It's all out on the playing field, and if you do have a slow start, that's when you can get caught out. But what are your thoughts after that one, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, the real issue was obviously, like you mentioned, not only did Spirit Academy have a very slow start in that one, the round that they finally won to kick off their sort of score sheet was just one in isolation. They weren't able to string those together, so very early on they went 5-0 down. And from there, it did sort of just spiral. We saw a bit of a resurgence from them at the end, but it wasn't enough. And like you said, it felt like they weren't properly warmed into it at all. And as soon as the sort of halftime switched, we obviously said that they needed to win the pistol, and that's exactly what they did. The fact that they weren't able to convert the force buy, though, made things 10 times harder, and it really allowed Cryptova just to sort of snowball the rest of their CT side. The money that we saw from Spirit Academy was never really there. Artfrost wasn't on the AWP as much as he probably needed to be, because the rounds that we watched him, he hit some incredible shots and really was a player that had so much impact when he was on that weapon. And it's funny that you mentioned sort of the AWPers who just sort of hit the shots they need to. That's exactly what Berry was like that game. There's a few nice flicks in there, don't get me wrong, but there was just a lot of the absolute basics. He's obviously on the AWP a lot more than we saw from Artfrost, but Berry was really impressive. Had a lot of rounds where he didn't do too much, then some where he got 4Ks of just shots that you need Berry to hit. He was definitely a very stable player on that Cryptova side and definitely helped them cross the line. But that's Cryptova winning both their games of the season so far, going 2-0 up, which is going to put them a really nice spot in the standings.
Yeah, I think they're going to be very happy with that one. Obviously, to kind of delve into the statistics of that game, the two kind of opening fraggers for the Cryptova side were both PR and Kinzo, and they had amazing success. Obviously, PR went for the most opening kills. He went for 7 and found success in 5, whereas Kinzo, a little less, went for 5 opening kills and found success in 4 of them. So it just goes to show, with these kind of main players going for these opening picks, they found success time and time again. And you've got to imagine Spirit Academy, 80% of the time instantly going to be on the back foot. You can't imagine them finding that much success in those type of rounds. Just goes to show that the individuals on the Cryptova side were just that little edge above. But obviously you mentioned Cryptova winning 2 games in a row is going to put them nicely in the standings. Do you want to give us a little bit of a rundown how the standings are going right now, Charlie?
Yeah, so obviously still very early very early on in the season right now, so still some teams haven't played all their games, some teams haven't even started their season really. I mean, quite a lot of teams haven't started their season. Spirit Academy with that, so there's 41 teams in the league, and right now Spirit Academy are sitting 37th with the 0-1 record. There's only one team to go 0-2, and that's the new to the SCL Lavardia, which is a bit disappointing from them, but like we mentioned, still very early in the season, still plenty of time left to go. On the other side of things, Cryptova, they are second, just on round difference behind Beyond Possible. So both these teams are looking very good to sort of shape up how the rest of their season goes, but still a long road left, so anything can change.
Yeah, obviously, for Spirit Academy, they've only played 1 game. It was a tough loss, but they've still got 7 more games remaining. They can really change how the season goes. Who knows? We can see them at the top. They can win their next 7 games. You really never know, and I feel like that is the beauty of the SCL. But obviously, that has been it from us. Hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to drop a follow on the Twitch and the Twitter so you guys get those updates about what games are being streamed and how the season's going so far. But as I mentioned before, that's been it from us. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with plenty more games.